accused of cheating, which is not true. She broke up with me, blocked me, and 2 weeks of no contact.
So that is extremely rude. It's emotionally, mentally, verbally abusive to do that. That's passive aggressive type of behavior. And then so the other thing, you got to remember, no one will ever do or say anything to you that isn't a direct reflection of how they feel about themselves in a moment. And so if you're dating somebody and you're a good, loyal, honest person and you know your own character and somebody's constantly accusing you of cheating, typically it means they're insecure. But most importantly, it usually means they are projecting what's inside. In other words, they're probably doing things they shouldn't be doing, entertaining attention from other guys, giving out their number, whatever it happens to be. And that's not a good sign. And in that kind of an instance, you got to set and enforce healthy boundaries. You got to tell her, it's like, that's not cool or loving to just accuse me of something I didn't do and then block me for 2 weeks and then show up and act like it's okay, nothing ever happened. I don't want to be in a relationship with somebody who does that. If you're mad or you're upset, let's talk about it and work it out. But to ghost me for 2 weeks and block me everywhere, it's like, that's ratchet behavior. And if that girl doesn't change, she can go on down the road. You need to set the healthy boundaries if she does come back and tell her it can't happen again. Because the stats are when one or both people use breakups as a weapon. I actually did a video a couple of years ago called that. The statistics are if you're constantly getting threatened or doing the threatening that you're going to break up with the other person if they don't behave the way you want, 95% of the time it doesn't work out. So that's not a way to have a healthy relationship. Also, like I was saying earlier, she's insecure. And so therefore, people that cheat tend to be insecure. They also assume everybody else is just like them. And the thought of being alone or not having somebody to monkey branch to is why they always got the orbiters. And so that's not a good sign that your girl is behaving that way. Because life's hard enough. You need somebody that's easygoing, easy to get along with. That's not easy to get along with. That's a pain in the ass. It's abusive.
I mean, I do agree with you because there is occasions where the person could be cheating themselves. However, I also feel that there are also people that they're just anxious and they do get a lot of anxiety. And like we mentioned in another video before,
Oh, the attachment styles?
yes, I mean, yeah, like I said in another video we did before, it's one of those situations where it's like the last thing you want is to deal with that anxiety, and then because of that anxiety, you get like you feel like you're not enjoying the relationship as well as you should.
But at the end of the day, that's that person's problem. They're
Yes.
projecting their unhealthy mental attitudes onto their significant other and mentally abusing them, verbally abusing them, emotionally abusing them.
No, and I agree. Like she really went out of hand here. But now I have another question. So in her case, like I mentioned clearly, she doesn't sound very secure herself. But let's just assume hypothetically she's not cheating and she's just simply anxious or paranoid.
It's the guy that I think is getting accused.
No, I'm saying that, yeah, the girl's accusing him of cheating. But let's just say hypothetically she's just anxious and she's not, reflecting that image on herself. That, in other words, she's the one that is doing the cheating and accusing him of cheating. So in those cases, what would your advice be for those who are just anxious?
Well, in that case, that tells me she's not a trusting person. So she's not necessarily responding to him and how he's showing up. What doing is she's showing up and basically relating to him. Could be her dad cheated on her mom, maybe previous boyfriends or a previous husband did that. And so her model of the world, if you will, the way she looks at herself and looks at the world, her reality filter is that I can't trust people. I can't trust men. All men lie. All men cheat. And at the end of the day, that's her baggage. That's her problem. And so she's relating to him, not based on his behavior, maybe something he did or said triggered her, but she's really responding to someone or in her past. That's what's going on. Mm-hmm. And it needs to stop because no dude should put up with that. And I know a lot of guys do because I've seen it over the years in the phone sessions and the emails, and they put up with that kind of stuff. You got to set and enforce a healthy boundary. And if they continue to do it, I had a girlfriend that would do that. She'd get mad at me. She was a Latina, and she was smoking hot, And she rode the highs and the lows. It was a wild ride, but she would get mad and pissed off for whatever reason, and she would not tell me why she was mad. She would just go, "I don't want to talk about it." I was like, "Babe, what's going on? You're upset. Let's talk." "I don't want to talk about it." And she would hang up on me. And after about 6 months of that, I was like, "Check, please. No girl, how hot she is worth putting up with that."
No, there needs to be like proper communication from day one. And I think a lot of like the mistrust or distrust is definitely stemming from some sort of like past trauma or some past relationship that went sour. We can throw like my history as a for instance, but in my case, like I go into like every relationship with like a clean slate because I never want to bring like any of that like baggage into like a new relationship because I think every person is different. And yeah, like I'll joke around and say like all men are shit or like all men are cheaters, but that's not the case. Like because like I know my father's not a cheater. Corey's not a cheater. So there are like good guys out there, and it is like who you find that and who you like surround yourself with, and if you find like the right person. But I think in this situation, this person was for sure triggered by something that happened in the relationship and was pissed off and decided like fuck this, I'm going on like a blocking and like a don't talk to me spree, and had to throw like a little child's temper tantrum. And when they were done, they're like, okay, like that's it, you can talk to me
Taking my
now.
toys and going home. I'm not
Yeah.
going to play in the sandbox with
Like
you
it's
anymore.
like it's like when a little kid packs their wheelie and it's like I'm running away, and they get to the stop sign and they're like, okay, I'm coming back, and that's literally it. Like, okay, like open the door, like I'm ready to come home now. Can you make me my mac and cheese?
Yeah, I feel like that's definitely like her chances of ruining the relationship just from that behavior are really high compared to her just simply accusing and communicating with the guy. I remember this one time I was having a conversation with Corey, and he was basically giving it like he definitely had a reason with a point he made that's like, oh, if the guy were to actually cheat, which he did say it's not true, but let's just talk hypothetical. If he did cheat, eventually the truth will come out. So, like I mentioned, like with that kind of anxiety, you're going to ruin the relationship more. You're going to ruin your experience with the relationship to begin with. So, if something did happen, it will come out eventually. But like I said, with this guy, that's not the case. So, she shouldn't have anything to worry about at all.
Yeah, and the other thing is she's got to apologize. It's not like she can disappear for 2 weeks and block you and just show up and act like everything's fine, like my ex-girlfriend used to do. She just called me and I don't want to talk about it. I just want to have fun, and was act like her being pissed off for those 3 days and wouldn't tell me why she was mad or upset. It's like she didn't want to talk about it. Just sweep it under the rug, pretend it doesn't exist, and that doesn't work. And that, if she comes back, you got to say, look, I'll give you another chance, but that's going to stop, and you need to apologize, and you need to understand why that's not okay behavior. And if she does it again, she can hit the bricks.
Yeah, I mean, I like to show people, like if their actions start to really do things like that, I will like physically show them like what they're doing. So I'll take like a napkin and I'll start to like crumble like little pieces of like this and that, and I'll start to like put things under the napkin. I'm like, do you see what you're doing? I'm like, there's only so much that this napkin can literally hide under it before everything's gonna be exposed. I'm like, so what is it that you like want out of this? I'm like, do you want to just keep like doing this until it's a fucking mess, or do we want to just start taking everything out and start talking about it one by one? Like, if this is too much for today, like, okay, we'll just put it on top of the carpet so that we're like gonna recognize it another day, and then we'll just take another little small piece that we can talk about today, and if that's okay, then that's okay, we'll talk about it. But you can't hide anything under the carpet because everything comes out in the wash. And like, that's another way to talk about like truth.
Yeah, one of the things I did learn besides the whole anxiety thing is that communication really does get you far. It's so simple, yet people complicate it for no reason, I feel.
Yeah.
I used to be that person that I would do just that I would like just expect the person to read my mind, but that's a little unrealistic. No one was born with any mind reading abilities or telepathy or whatever the case may be. And like I know in my current relationship it's helped a lot. It's helped a lot, like calling the person out, holding them accountable, just talking to them about what boundaries they can cross, what they can't cross. It really does get you far, and it's so simple, and it could solve millions of problems rather than just being a little kid about it. So hopefully she hears this, and I can, like I said, I can totally, yeah, I could totally relate to you on this. But girl, I'm telling you, it's not the way to go. You will ruin your relationship just by doing that as compared to talking to the guy.
And the stats back that up. Eventually, the guy's going to get sick of it. I got sick of it. It was like, I don't care how hot she was or how fun she was or how good the sex was. It's like, it's not worth it, man. The juice is not worth the squeeze sometimes.